Okay, let's get into this. Have you ever, pictured someone walking into a regular coffee shop and saying, greetings, may I kindly request a single cup of your finest hot beverage?
Huh. Yeah, right. You can just imagine the barista's face, can't you?
Totally. Or trying to get parking directions and asking, excuse me, esteemed attendant, could you perhaps guide me towards the designated area for vehicular placement?
Oh, man.
It's just,
I
ugh.
know. It sounds crazy, but apparently someone actually did this. Not just the cafe, but like a grocery store,
Mm.
parking booth,
Right.
even talking to a kid on a scooter,
And the reactions, let me guess, confused.
pretty much.
Mm.
Confusion, maybe some polite, slightly nervous smiles.
Yeah.
Just perfectly shows that disconnect, doesn't it?
It really does. It highlights that big challenge so many English learners face. They spend years with the books, nailing the grammar, learning tons of words.
Mm.
But then when it's time to actually talk to people, there's often this huge gap. It's like knowing all the notes, but not quite knowing how to play the actual music people listen to. Exactly. So that's really the mission for this deep dive, kind of sparked by this YouTube video transcript we found. We want to dig into what the textbooks often miss.
Right. The stuff that makes conversations actually sound human.
Yeah. Like the natural phrases, the rhythm, how important your tone is,
Oh, tone is huge.
how people really react, not just, yes, I do. And the whole cultural context thing, even making mistakes.
Which happens all the time, even for native speakers.
Totally. So we want to help bridge that gap. Classroom English versus, real life English. Help you sound less like I don't know, a textbook on legs.
And more like yourself, just speaking English.
Yeah. Hopefully uncover some of those aha moments, make it feel a bit less overwhelming.
Definitely. Because think about all the effort that goes into learning the formal rules. It's important. Sure, you need that foundation.
Right.
But it's these more subtle things we're talking about today. That's what really unlocks feeling confident, actually connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding and being understood, it's way more than just perfect grammar. It's that human connection bit.
Okay, so this YouTube transcript we're looking at, it kicks off with a point that's, well, pretty obvious once you hear it. Textbook sentences often sound kind of robotic.
Mm-hmm. Robotic is a good word.
It's not that they're wrong grammatically, but like the video points out, who really says, I am residing in this locality for professional purposes.
Right. When you just mean, I live here for work.
Yeah.
It's just stiff.
Exactly. Stiff.
And that makes you think, well, why are we learning the language? Is it just to pass exams?
Good question.
Or is it to actually, communicate, connect with people? Textbooks often lean towards the tests, focusing on these really strict rules and formal words.
Yeah.
But real life, it's messy. It changes depending on where you are, who you're with.
Mm-hmm.
Using super formal language when you're just hanging out can feel, well, a bit weird.
Creates a bit of distance, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Can sound a little strange.
And it's not just the words, is it? It's how you say them, the tone. The transcript had this great example with the word thanks.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Same word, right. But depending on your intonation, it can mean you're genuinely thankful.
Or slightly annoyed.
Or totally sarcastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All with one little word. In language classes, they often just give you the dictionary definition, don't they? They don't always get into that emotional weight behind how you say it.
Right, the intention.
Yeah, intention. It's like this whole extra layer of meaning, Beyond just the words on the page, it shows your attitude, your feelings, how you relate to the other person.
So grammar gives you the bones,
Mm-hmm.
but tone gives it the personality, the life.
That's a good way to put it. And if you miss that, misunderstandings can happen so easily, even if your grammar is technically perfect.
The video also mentioned something I think lots of learners will get.
Mm-hmm.
Reactions. Textbook conversations can be so proper.
So predictable.
Yeah. Like, do you enjoy cinema? Yes, I do. But real chat is full of, totally, or oh my gosh, I love it, or depends on the movie.
Right. Those little immediate responses.
They feel natural, they keep the conversation moving, and they show you're actually listening and engaged.
And think about what those reactions convey. It's not just yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
It's enthusiasm, or maybe doubt, or curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
All those little things that make the interaction feel real.
Yeah.
Human. Learning those less formal ways to react, that can be a game changer for feeling like you're really in the conversation.
Okay, now this next bit from the transcript is really interesting. It talks about something schools often tell you not to do.
Oh, which
Using fillers. Like,
Oh, yes. The dreaded fillers.
Right. The idea is usually that they make you sound, I don't know, less fluent or hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
But the video makes the opposite point. Native speakers use them constantly. They're like, natural pauses, little moments to think.
Absolutely. And honestly, speech without any of them can sound a bit, well, robotic again, Ken.
Totally robotic.
These fillers, they actually have a job to do in conversation. They give you a sec to figure out what you want to say next.
Yeah, buys you time.
Right. Or
Yeah.
they can signal, like, hang on, I'm not quite done yet, and they just add to the rhythm of natural speech. Trying to cut them out completely can make you sound way too formal, maybe even a bit unnatural.
So the trick isn't to never use them.
No, definitely not. The video guy said it's about moderation. Use them naturally, not like every other word, but don't stress about eliminating them completely.
Gotcha. Okay, context. This is huge too, right? The video points out how classes might teach you the right phrase.
But not when or where to use it.
Exactly, like how do you do perfectly correct English, technically. But try saying that at a casual party when you meet someone. You might get a funny look.
You probably would, yeah. Bit formal for a party.
Or, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Fine for maybe a super formal business thing, but meeting a friend of a friend might sound a bit stiff.
Yeah, stiff again. It's like knowing the rules of a game, but not the etiquette.
Well,
You have the words, the pieces, but you need to know how to play them in different situations.
that's a great analogy.
Understanding how language shifts based on, like,
Yeah.
the social setting, who you're talking to, the whole vibe,
Mhm.
that's really crucial.
And then idioms. Oh man, the video nailed this one. Textbooks often, ignore them?
Or explain them really weirdly.
Yes, like defining break a leg, which just means good luck,
Right.
as some kind of instruction to actually injure someone.
Huh. Yeah, little definitions don't always help with idioms.
Meanwhile, real English is absolutely packed with them. I'm beat. That's a red flag. I'm down if you don't know these.
You're missing a huge chunk of the conversation. You might not get the joke or the warning or the invitation.
Oh boy.
Idioms add so much color and nuance. They often say something more than just the literal words put together. They can pack a complex idea into a short, memorable phrase. Learning them isn't just about more vocab. It's about getting a deeper feel for the culture behind the language, too.
Okay, conversation flow. Another big one the video brought up. School dialogues can feel so regimented.
Very step-by-step. Question, answer, next question.
Yeah. No real sense of how to keep it going naturally or how to change the subject smoothly or what to do in those slightly awkward pauses.
Right. Real conversations are much messier, aren't they?
Definitely messier. People interrupt, they jump topics, sometimes they just kind of trail off.
Mm-hmm. Knowing those little transition bits, like, oh, by the way, or speaking of that, can make a massive difference.
Yeah, it helps you navigate.
It makes your side of the conversation feel much less like you're just waiting for your turn based on a script. It's more dynamic, more collaborative. You're listening, responding, building on things.
Right, and let's be real, making mistakes is part of it too. The
Yeah.
video mentioned how learners often panic about messing up,
Oh, yeah, the fear of sounding silly. It's a big one.
but native speakers mess up constantly. We forget words, we start a sentence one way and finish it another.
We use slang, maybe bend the grammar rules a bit sometimes.
Exactly. Fluency isn't about being perfect, is it? It's more about being comfortable enough to just keep going, even if you stumble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that fear of mistakes, it can seriously hold you back. Realizing that errors are just normal, a necessary part of learning. And that even people who grew up speaking the language aren't grammar robots. That can be really freeing. Helps you relax, take a few more risks.
Which is how you improve, right?
Exactly.
Okay, lastly, the video really hit home on cultural English. This might be the biggest piece missing from a lot of traditional learning.
The unspoken stuff.
Yeah, you could memorize every single grammar rule, learn thousands of words, but if you don't get the cultural context, things like sarcasm,
Oof. Sarcasm's a tricky one.
totally, or humor that's specific to the culture, or just those subtle social cues, you can easily misunderstand what someone means.
Definitely. Like your great example earlier. Flat tone. Probably doesn't mean great at all.
Right, or someone laughing and saying, "I'm dead." They mean it was hilarious, not,
Not literally deceased, no.
Even simple phrases can have all these layers depending on the culture.
It just shows how deep that connection between language and culture runs. Understanding those nuances lets you get past the dictionary definitions and really grasp the speaker's intention, their attitude, their feelings.
Which is essential for actually communicating effectively.
And for building real relationships, yeah.
Okay, so, wow. To quickly recap this whole deep dive then, we've talked about how textbook English can sound robotic,
The massive roll of tone.
why natural reactions matter,
Fillers being actually okay, even normal.
the huge importance of context,
Idioms bringing language to life.
the real flow of conversation,
Accepting mistakes is part of the deal.
and that absolutely critical layer of cultural understanding. It's clearly way more than just grammar rules and vocab lists.
It really is. Which brings up a question for you listening, maybe. Think back on your own English learning.
Mhm.
Can you remember times when these differences, textbook versus real life, maybe tripped you up or caused some confusion?
Or maybe those aha moments when you suddenly understood a joke because of the tone or figured out an idiom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or grasped why someone reacted a certain way. Just thinking about those specific experiences can really help solidify this stuff for you.
And hey, to make this super practical, the video we were digging into had this great little vocab section at the end. Charlotte, one of the speakers, highlighted some really useful words.
Oh, yeah. That was helpful.
Well, words like tone, obviously, vibe, obsessed, invite, eliminate, hesitate. What else? Paradoxically, red flag, awkward, transition, panic, stiff, sarcasm, and passive aggressive.
Good mix of useful terms there.
Totally. And she gave examples of how they're actually used. Maybe, try picking one or two of those this week. See if you can slip them into a conversation or even just writing an email.
Yeah, small steps like that can make a real difference in sounding more natural over time.
Definitely.
So, building on that idea of cultural context, maybe a final thought to leave you with. Beyond just the words and grammar, how else do you think understanding those unspoken parts of English, the cultural norms, the social signals, the things people don't explicitly say, how else can that unlock deeper connections? Not just better communication, but maybe a richer understanding of people and the world.
That's a good one to chew on. Lots to think about there.